Hey guys, so we're back on Mom's channel sharing some news about what it took to get her diagnosed with the Alzheimer's. I know I've teased this before and I just have never gotten it finished. Pardon the lady, she's eating cookies. We just did snack trials on my niece and my channel, and so she's been involved and she's still gobbling down her cookies over here. Took a while before I fed you this morning, so that's probably why. A little hungry, are we? Okay. So the first step to getting...
I want to say sorry from the background if you hear squeakies. It's the chair.
Yeah, my niece is here and she's helping do the videoing today. So the first step to getting diagnosed was we had to get a neurologist. We have been trying for a couple years now to talk to get my mom's doctor to realize that we needed help. Well, this year I had started into therapy and I ended up talking to my therapist and she says, maybe you need to tell her you need to get a referral to a neurologist. And I had just been reading a book about Alzheimer's that basically said the same thing. And so I decided to ask him for a referral. That's a whole nother story how that all ended up getting started, the referral and that, because this is quite a exciting adventure. But anyway, we seen her doctor. Her doctor gave us a referral, and we went to follow. But the referral went through before the doctor's appointment, so the doctor didn't know we were going to be seeing the neurologist when we came in. And so she wanted to do blood work and an MRI, I think it was. And I said, well, we have the neurologist on Monday. And she goes, oh, then never mind. I'm going to hold off. So we went in on Monday, the following Monday. And they basically did the same test the doctor's office did. The first thing they did is they sat down, they had a group of questions they asked. One of them was they drew a clock and they asked her to put the date at the time as 10 to 11 or 10 after 11 or something like that. I don't remember, that's been like 2 months ago. I don't honestly remember what the exact time was. But she was supposed to draw, and all Mom did was put the 10 and the 11 on the clock, and that was all she could do. And she didn't even put them in the exact right spot. And she was asked the date. Do you know the date? What do you think today is?
Today?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the date is today.
Do you know what year it is? No wrong answer, just what do you think the year is?
I think it's about a Wednesday.
Oh, it's about a Wednesday, okay. So it's actually Thursday, so you're pretty close with the day. But the date is September.
Oh, my birthday.
Not your birthday. But it is the same month as your birthday. So we are on September 7th or 8th?
8th.
8th. Today's the 8th. I was a little off because I forgot to do my journal book this morning. So September 8th. And do you know that today is 2022? It's the year of 2022. See, when we did this, they found out that one time she thought it was 40-something, one time she thought it was 60-something. I don't remember. But the dates were never corresponding to what it was. They asked a bunch of different questions. They did math questions with her. They did memory questions with her. You give you a list, you wait 5 minutes, and you have to try to tell her what was on the list before. She didn't do very good with any of it. She couldn't remember any of it. Mindy and I have both been through similar tests for different reasons. Mine was to find out I have a learning disability, and I think yours was the same reason to see if there was a learning disability or what was going on, because you have memory issues, right? You've been through this test, right?
Yeah.
I had to do it my late teens. It was my late teens I did it. I think I was 18 when I done it. And it took several hours for me to do it, but they did it in about an hour. They did this test. And they went through, and then they checked her gait, how far she could walk, how she walked, what her feet looked like when she was walking. They took her shoes off and walked her a few steps on the carpet. They just kind of get a feel. They had them push against their hands. They did follow my hand, do this, do that, everything they could think of. Basically, they go through all the motor skills and everything to see what's working. They also had a questionnaire that I had to fill out that had questions like, have you been dizzy? Have you done headaches? This. So we had to answer that. For every question I answered yes, I had another paper to fill out. So it took me about 15 minutes to fill the first paper out. It took me an hour to fill all the other papers out. So it's a long process. It is but this isn't even it. That was just the tip of the iceberg. Then they wanted blood work done. they wanted us to do an MRI and an EEG. And so we go home after this, and we now have the diagnosis. They diagnosed at that moment as Alzheimer's. And they're going to start her on a medication. Then the follow-up things that we had to do, we did the blood work on that Wednesday. Thursday we went and did her EEG, and I think it was like the following Monday we did the MRI. So we had it all done within a couple weeks. We get a call from her general doctor telling us that her vitamin B is low, which is another thing that causes memory issue. If your vitamin B gets too low, that can cause memory issue. So when we went back for the follow-up visit to find out everything, there is what's called a trophy. I can look up and give you more on that later if you guys have any questions on that. And then they also, I think that was found on the MRI. And with the blood work, they found that the vitamin B was low. So she started shots by her general doctor. Then her neurologist decided to also add in a pill. So once a day, Mom takes a vitamin B pill as well. So this is just the tip. We can talk more in depth on what it took for the EEG because that was a chore to do. It was a process. It was just overwhelming, because we had to be up all night. We had to do shower. It was a process. So we can talk about that too, more detail. But so the steps that it took was general doctor, neurologist, then these 3 things, and we have the official diagnosis. She's on a pill that she takes twice a day now. We had to build that up to get to twice a day, and it's the 10 milligrams twice a day. How are you feeling with about everything that's happened?
I don't know.
You don't know. That's a lot of her answer. She doesn't like to talk much anymore. So, and I'm going to ask Mindy, do you have any questions for Grandma that maybe we can throw out for this?
Do you remember any of the testing that they have done recently on you?
Do you remember any of the testing that they did recently?
No.
Very little.
Very little. And that's, par for the course with what we're dealing with. I was with her for all of it. I couldn't go in, obviously, to the MRI, but I was able to sit in on the EEG, which is a brain scan, basically. They put on all these nodes on you. 31 go on the head and the chest, and you lay there for about 35 minutes, and they monitor you for 35 minutes. She could sleep. Well, she slept for maybe 15 seconds, I think, is about all that Grandma slept, because she was confused and uncomfortable. And I was in the room the whole time. It was dark. They had, the monitors on her and everything, and that was it. And then once they were done, they cleaned it off as best they could. We come home, she took a shower, and then we kind of went to bed after that because we'd been up all night. But, so that's what it took to get diagnosed. If you guys have questions, let us know.
Is this scary to you, knowing that you have the Alzheimer's?
Is it scary that you have Alzheimer's? Does that scare you?
I don't think it scares me.
Does it bother you in any way?
I don't think so.
We kind of knew going in that she had Alzheimer's. We thought it was just dementia, but it is. For those that don't know, dementia and Alzheimer's coincide. They go together. Alzheimer's is one of the strongest forms of dementia. I didn't know that till this year myself, so that's why I want to clarify that. In reading what I've been reading, I found out that Alzheimer's is one of the most advanced dementias out there. My dad had what I believe, I don't know for sure which type of dementia, but from what I'm reading, it sounds like he had what was called vascular dementia, which is more when they have strokes and stuff, and my dad had several strokes, so.
So you think Grandpa's it was more chemically caused than it was natural?
It was natural, but it was a different form of the dementia. It was a natural, but it was because his strokes.
Okay.
So his body was shutting down in a way. It was, when you have a stroke, you can affect motor skills, you can affect different parts of the body. And it was taking away, it was killing off certain cells.
Okay.
In the strokes. That's what caused dementia. from what I understood in my reading. If anybody else knows more, please feel free to share down below what you know based off of what, you know.
Do you know if this runs in your side of the family at all?
Do you know if it runs in the family? I think the thing what we're finding and what I've learned is no, it doesn't. Dementia and Alzheimer's do not necessarily, there is no real proof that it is a genetic disease.
Okay.
You have a higher risk, though, if your parents did have it. And both my parents had dementia, so we're all at higher risk in my family. So, and my brother's already being kept checked on that, and I think my sister's starting to get checked on it.
She's having migraines that's causing her to get testing done.
But migraines are one of the symptoms or something I've been reading about. So your mom has started to read the one book that I just got done reading. I'm giving her a chapter at a time so that she can read it. Very interesting. Certain chapters are really good and other chapters aren't. I have a copy. If you're a family or friend and want to look at it, I can, share it. We'll try to share that with people so that they can read it. I can make copies of the pages or whatever. I bought 2 copies, one that I highlighted and one that I'm keeping for making copies to share information. Because it's hard to find this book. It was out, Mayo Clinic put it out like last year, but it's hard to find. And when I found it, it cost me quite a bit to get it. It's like $20, I think. So, no charge. I'm making a couple, pages at a time. So, what's some of the things that you've questioned about the dementia and the Alzheimer's and Mindy?
I think most of them have been answered by a lot of people in different ways. What's the difference between the two was one of the questions I've had.
Which we talked about in the car earlier, and then I just addressed it again.
And the questions I've asked Grandma, is it scary to her?
The thing that's scary for you is when you don't recognize where you are, and it gets a little scary. The disease itself is not scary. It's the moments that the disease affects your life.
Is she having problems remembering certain people?
So far, no. I mean, like, she may not recognize somebody. Like, you didn't recognize your sister. But she knows them. She just may not be able to give them the right name. Right?
Right.
Um,
Well, you haven't seen somebody in 10 years or whatever.
10 days and you still wouldn't recognize it, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Mary had been more recent than that. My aunt has been taking care of Mom when I go to do my therapy. If it's on a Wednesday, she generally sits with her sister the last 2 times, and they have breakfast together and they get to have a little conversation. Although I hear you don't do much talking.
I never do.
Of course, then again, you never do when you're with your sister. Anyway, that's no change. That's always been the 2 of them. They get along great. They're like really good best friends kind of thing. But like my aunt talks more than she listens. No offense to my aunt, but she talks more than she listens. I can get her to listen more than she talks, but that's different. Okay, we doing on time?
13 minutes.
Okay, let's close out here. We'll try to do another video maybe, so I have a couple of videos, and maybe we can do some Q&A with Mindy and Grandma. We hope you guys all enjoyed this video for Mom's channel. We hope that if you guys have questions, you're not afraid to share them with us, either through the email, which I'm going to start including my email down below. I do check that about 6 times a week. Or if you want, you can comment down below. Follow me on Instagram if you want to see more pictures of Mom. I do post pictures of her there a lot. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. And we hope that you find the strength to keep moving on with whatever you're dealing with. Till next time. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.